should buy me one of them, like a Stradivarius viola. Can you just buy one, or you have to like? Is there like a limit? I'm finna ask a question, and I don't. Before you be like, dang, Katie, remember the degree count. I can't know everything. Do they still make Stradivarius, or is it like they don't make them no more, and that's why they don't make them no more, or they still make them, but it's not worth as much as the one from the 1700s?
Yeah, I mean they make copies,
so
none of the copies gonna be worth,
right?
Yeah, but I don't know how much the copies are worth.
Are Stradivarius making the copies? That's really my question. Like, are they still still makers?
So you're saying like they're like
like. Cause ain't no way you make all these bomb violins and then like in 1900 you be like, yes, I'm good. We gonna close down shop.
Oh, they gonna be looking at me too. But to be fair, I'm a bass player. That's why I was like, you asking me. I got less degrees and play a totally different instrument.
But you be knowing stuff.
But because I was just thinking Stradivarius, cause he made them, and then when they make copies, other makers make copies of his thing.
I thought it was like a and son type of situation where like my daddy made violins, so I make violins, so I make
so like violins. People he trained or something like that, or like there's like a lineage. Oh,
but it would technically not be his violins because he did not make that actual. Okay, so I knew that. That makes sense to me. I'm thinking like Char music. It's not like that. Wait, in a sense. So it's not like that, because for it to be Stradivarius himself had to have made it. It's not like a brand.
That's what I assumed.
It's not like a Toyota. Like anybody can make a Toyota.
But also, I don't know.
Any Toyota place can make a Toyota.
I don't know who. You know who we should ask? Actually,
I take back the disclaimer I gave, because actually I never learned this actually ever. Because now I'm in my head about it. Because I know the dude who made my viola, Sam Billings, made my viola. He the only person, like, it's not gonna be a Sam Billings unless he makes it.
Because I was gonna say, but also when you have your own shop and your thing, because now you got me. Because I assumed that it was like he made this with his hands. This is a Stradivarius. But also, if he was an in-demand maker, he might have had a shop, and then like maybe he had. Like, it goes through him to get the stamp of, okay, you can market this as a Stradivarius.
That's another thing.
You know, because, like, for example, I mean, some people don't, something is wrong, but, like, for example, when we were talking about film score and, like, Hans Zimmer, he not hand by hand doing every note on that score. You know, he has a team of people that's drawing, and he might do a theme, and then somebody teases out the theme or, like, whatever. So it could be a situation like that where you have, if you are a big name, like, maker, I don't know,
if we want to get even more dense or zoom out even more, when you go to Wolfgang Puck, when I went to that Wolfgang Puck in O'Hare, I ain't in O'Hare Airport. I ain't see Wolfgang back there making no pieces. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's what I thought it was like in the style of Stradivarius. So because like, I'm finna buy me, you know, when I get myself together, I'm finna buy me a Stradivarius viola. I'm gonna say this clip, Katie. Sorry.
I don't know how
just
much
to have it, but it's like, if there's only 3 Stradivarius violas, I ain't finna go head to toe with I ain't go toe to toe with no white person to fight them, and now I'm paying $20 million for a viola.
Now I want to look it up. Hold on, I'm gonna look up one. I want to see how much a Stradivarius copy goes for, because I don't know. It says it means that it's modeled after Stradivarius. Okay, I know that, but copy of Antonio Stradivari VOT 1709. This one. Because then it's like, what you need a copy for? Like, because it's not like, because this one's $50,000.
And then that's my next question. My next question, like, I know there's many ways to skin a tofu, but my question is, I've seen a violin. Like, what? Like, obviously the quality materials and stuff like that, but it's just like, you know, what am I trying to say without being reductive? Obviously, I understand the difference in quality of violins and why a violin's quality would go up. I'm just saying, what kind of tea was Stradivarius on that his stuff was so tea? You know what I'm saying? Like,
maybe it's at the time. And then also,
like, he was getting wood from the Garden of Gethsemane. While, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You know what? That's something we haven't talked much about. Episode idea.
Finally.
And are we gonna write it down? We'll see.
We'll see.
I also want to know like what percentage of that, like, because Stradivarius violins go for like tens of millions of dollars. What percent of that is pedigree and what percent is
notoriety? Oh wait, that's a negative word, right? Was that the one you were telling me? Notorious.
Oh no, but I mean that's what I mean by pedigree, like the fact that it's a Stradivarius versus the quality of this violin, because there's a copy for $50,000. Is it way less? Because like when you make a copy, how close is a copy to original really?
Because my kids got a copy of a viola on me.
Like that's what I want to know. Yeah, we got to get a luthier on here,
and I know just who to ask.
You talking about Emmanuel? Mm-hmm. That's what I was gonna say. I was like, that's what we should ask.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's listening. Yeah.
Well, he probably turned it off after that. He probably turned it off
because now we gotta know. Why did we get on this? Oh, they stealing violins. Okay.
Because I said I wanted to buy one, and I was like, but like, how many? I mean, Eastman own one, but also it's Eastman.
Oh, they do.
They got a Stradivarius up there.
Still for sale. Well, why did it say McDonald's Stradivarius? Now, who is that? What does that mean?
See,
$45 million. Still for sale. Oh, that was posted in 28 or a while ago. 1701, 56-year-old Italian man made finishing touches on a viola. Oh, so McDonald must be the commissioner, the person that commissioned it. $45 million for a viola.
I just want to know, like,
whoa. Wow.
Like, what is it made out of? The wood that Jesus was crucified on? That's what I want to know. Like, what?
They have one at the Library of Congress.
Can you play it?
I'm sure you can't though.
Oh, that right.
Yeah. You had, but if you were like an honor, like how Lizzo got to play James Madison's flute, although, but
yeah, flute girls don't be.
People was mad like he's selling, and I was like, James Madison is burning in hell. He owned people
like James Madison. Like, first of all, y'all gonna have to realize that heaven is hell. The devil's probably begging some of y'all to be good. Like he is at capacity. He is at capacity. He's stacking people down there. Like talk about like the devil is begging you. Like, please, can somebody be good?
You playing Tetris down there. That's what you're doing.
We really we've been at capacity for a minute now.
Standing room only.
Like, whoa, we got Thomas Jefferson been digging the trenches ever since he got down here trying to keep up with the demand.
I wonder who could play this.
Because I feel like, did I play the one at Eastman? That's different. I was a student. And it was a class thing. It wasn't like a come y'all.
Because like if you were like a high profile, like if like Kim Kardashian went, I'm sure she could play it or something like that. But it would have to be like a whole setup, you know.
It was like you wouldn't, if I remember correctly, did I play the one at Eastman?
Where they keep it at in Sibley?
Mm-hmm. On that 4th floor, in some room.
Heist. No, I'm just kidding. Now watch it go missing next week. Now they knocking on my door. I don't even want that, and I don't even play the one I got.
If I opened my door, I saw federal agents, I would close it back. Girl, it ain't here.
Now when they come down with the battering ram,
like, girl, it's not in here.
Like, I promise you.
Why, girl? I've been here this whole time and not risking my freedom for a damn violin. I only play violin.
I was about to say, I already gave up my freedom.
I already risked my freedom and my financial freedom for the viola. I've done enough. Like,
I'm finally free from it, actually. So,
well, I got very so. We thank God. But yeah, if you know, let us know. Because I just realized the more I ask questions, the more I realize I actually don't really know. I have like no semblance of an idea. The only thing I could gather is that obviously the better quality of the materials, the more instrument will cost.
Yeah, I really need somebody to explain this to me like I'm fine, because here go a copy for $1,000.
I'm saying my kids got copies of instruments right now.
So we're gonna have to have somebody explain that to us, because this is not something I've ever really like been into, and also like I don't know if the people that are into it just because they so into classical music, they just it's just interesting to them, or if like y'all were actually going through this stuff when you were looking to buy an instrument. A lot of this stuff is simply outside my tax bracket. So like it's just certain stuff that I'm not really finna get into. Like I remember we talked about when we was both applying to Eastman, and they asked you like who made your instrument.
I have to look in the inside to see.
I was like, I didn't even know you could find, like, I'm like, what you mean who made it? The store. Which actually was because I had a Shin bass, which was mass produced at the time, you know.
Only reason why I mean I knew, because I applied in 2015. I had just bought my viola that year and went through that. But honestly, I bought the viola that my teacher told me to get. And when Mr. Taylor took my stuff and he started moving around, I said, so what we talking about today? What we playing today? Because I'm not buying another viola.
Right.
So thank you.
Right. We're going to make this work.
We going to make this one right here. The one you heard a couple months ago at the audition. Yeah. So what we playing today? You said scale. Which one?
So what if my teacher sent me back for winter break and told me not to come back with that bass? But Eastman had a bass. So I was on the school's bass from that point. But I had my bass for one semester.
He said, you know what? Matter of fact, when you flying over to Genesee, open the hatch, drop that bass in here.
He saw my bass leaving. He said, and stay out.
That's so crazy.
Because I was playing like a student instrument and stuff like that. But when I talked to, I had a teacher when my teacher was on sabbatical. I was talking to about buying an instrument, and that was one thing, just like how we talked about the summer festivals, where like you can say what you want to say, but I'm finna do what I'm finna do, simply because like some stuff is just not an option.
Do it. Yeah,
like because he told me, he was like, well, if you don't get one above this price point, then there's pretty much no point. And I'm like, well, there's a point because I'm graduating and I don't own a bass. Like I'll graduate and I won't have one. And so what I got was below what he said, because I'm like, I don't have that. So what's the alternative?
And we talk about multiple bands, like we just got multiple bands sitting around, like, girl,
tens upon tens upon tens of thousands of dollars. Like,
because I remember even when I was an undergrad, I came in with the rental because my mama had been paying for my rental. My mama had been paying for my rental since 6th grade. I came with my little rental. I said, yeah, that's what I got. Period. And you made me no feel no way. This is what I got.
Yeah.
And then Kate was like you need a viola, and I got me a little baby viola, a couple bands, just to get stuff going. And luckily enough, I didn't pay a penny for that viola because my mom had been renting a viola since 6th grade or something like that. So all that money for them years and years and years is accumulated, and then they rounded it up because I was loyal to them, and also my teacher had a connection at that shop, so they rounded up, like kind of even like put a bow on there, like they really like did me some favors for that first viola. And then my second viola, I traded it in and took some money off the one I got now, but not much because it was only a couple bands. But like that, if my mom had not been, if I had not been renting, now there wouldn't be like, we were having that conversation, it would have been in one ear out the other. Like, we gonna play on this. You admitted me to the school on this rental instrument, to be fair. And there was someone in my studio who the school owns instruments. Yeah. So like the person in my studio who my teacher also had that conversation with played on a school viola, and eventually there was another conversation where like you can't keep playing on the school viola. Is kind of like because to be fair to the teachers who have to have these, albeit difficult conversations, necessary ones. You're a music student. You have to own your instrument. Unfortunately, like that's just, you have to own your instrument. So the school, it's a Band-Aid. It's not like a thing. But I was in a lucky position where it's like, and even my current viola, even though like I don't really mess with this family member like that, people put in. It was a lot of different pockets of money.
That's what my base was
that why I own my viola now. It was like I traded in my old viola. I had some money here. This family member gave me this, and I had some other stuff I had to do. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Student loans. It was money from Bubba.
Concubine for a viola, crazy.
That's why when the conversation for another viola, I said no. We went and audition with this one. And shout out to Jen, who was like, audition with this one. So you gotta make work what you gotta make work. I mean, I could use a new viola. I've thought about it in the next couple of years, but like it's not. I literally like when George taught me last time, he was like, "So about that viola, I'm like, you still think about it?" Like, right. No, hey, how you doing? I haven't seen you since 2019. Like, that's the top of mind. Like, yeah, it's about that viola. Yo, but Yeah, it's the sound. It's just, like we were talking about this yesterday, where like I scrounge together. Sometimes there's nothing to scrounge. Like literally, if my mama had not been paying that little rental, I would not have got my baby viola. It wouldn't. It would have been what it would have been.
And it's like, and I'm also, I wasn't good enough for one of them. Foundation loans you an instrument. Like there's a certain caliber of player.
But you gotta play
where
down.
where it's like, oh, this family or this foundation is loaning you an instrument that's a crazy expensive instrument or something like that. But this conversation just reminded me. I was like, hey, now when I hit a lick, I should buy that bass that I played at Eastman. The one that Eastman owns. They own more than one, I think, but the one that I played.
Oh, that's cute. That'll be cute. So when I had to look, I'm gonna buy me a Stradivarius to have it, like, because it sounds to you having it in a glass case. Oh, maybe not here, not in the state. Maybe like in a. But you probably get some
because there's museums here.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing me back, because I was like, you get the ground to get to shaking out my Stradivarius on the ground. But yeah, just to have it, take it out and play Twinkle Variations.
Yeah, not because I'm like, I want that bass. It was so chocolate.
I remember that bass.
Yeah, it was nice. It was old. It was like, well, it went by a certain, my understanding. My bass is, I think me and my bass are the same age. Me and my bass are the same age. That bass was at the time about 130 years old. So that was less than 10 years ago. So it was around the same. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
My viola is quite young. I think it just made, it's like 15 years old.
Oh, teenager.
Yeah. So how it sounds is how it's going to sound. Because you know how the sound takes 10 years to open up. So that's how she be sounding. And then her fine tuner fell off. I said, come on, girl, you got to keep it together. You a teenager.
Going through puberty.
Yeah, I know. gotta shed the old fine tuner and get a new one.
Could you imagine you went in there, the growing one?
That's hilarious. That might be a...
We always, idea.
And then I'm never forget about it. But... Yeah, she's going through stuff. We argue. Yeah, I guess she needs some work anyway. She needs a new bridge. That bridge been warped the whole time. Sometimes George was like, "Your bridge is warped." And I was like, "Girl, I am not paying nobody else to knock this bridge in the street.
I do not see it.
It still play.
The way I'll be walking past my bass, you got a third F hole right now. It's none of my business. I'm sorry.
Like I wonder. I don't even know how much it costs to get a new bridge cut. Probably like $100 or $200, something like that. But I'm just like, I'm gonna do it. But it's just like, it still play with the word bridge. That bridge has looked like ramen noodles since, I don't know, 2016. Something in the air in Rochester did it to it. I don't know.
They so fragile and fickle and just.
That's why, I
don't like having them around. Like,
that's why, Miss, you never bring your viola. I'm like, and don't. I got my violin, my teacher violin, and your violin cost exactly the same. That maybe a little bit, but like, you won't see my viola. And depending on how clumsy the kid, I might teach a viola on the violin. Depending on what you got going on, I gotta see how a kid moves in the space before I bring my girl around. Like, I make money off of this. Like, can't be all willy nilly with it.